This is by, my time doesn't start yet. This is by Joan Chittister. At its core, life is not about things. It's about relationships. It's the hands we go on holding in our hearts at the end that define the kind of life we have led. Our relationships determine the quality of life as we've known it. When the relationships we forge begin to disappear, our own life changes. We know that's what it is to be abandoned. We watch the ones we love leave us, and we find ourselves at another crossover point in time. What do we do now? Go on alone? Stop and withdraw into ourselves? Risk the chance of becoming a friend again? It's a life-changing question. It's a soul-changing answer. On this particular Sunday, traffic was thin and the dock was quiet. Nothing seemed to block the flow of cars around the dock, but nothing was moving either. In the middle of the dock lay a dead duck, her soft feathers hanging limp on the ground. But that's not the story. The story was about loss. Around the dock at a respectful distance were a great many other ducks. Some of them were waving silently in the moving waters. Others were on the dock itself. And there in the middle, circling the dead creature wildly, wings flapping, head thrown back, screaming and screeching, was a lone mallard, inconsolable, howling for help. A man walked by and said, "Ducks are monogamous. They mate for life." For anyone who's ever watched a friend go through the very same thing, the meaning is clear. Once our mates go, in a way, so do we. When that happens, there's two temptations. The first is to live in the world long gone, to condemn ourselves to existing almost exclusively through a collection of aging photographs. The second is the attempt to minimize, to insulate ourselves from life by avoiding the risk of other vulnerability, by allowing emotional death to take us before physical death does. For a long time, in fact, people laughed scornful, sneering laughs at old people who fell in love. Marriage was out of the question. The primary purpose of marriage had always been, for so long, defined as child rearing. Procreation had been the main object of marriage for centuries. Women were bought and sold, given in marriage to whatever relationships were politically or economically motivated. Love was physical, and it ended with the ebbing of the physical functions. As a result, unlike those in any other phase of life, older people are forced to deal with the challenge of two very different types of relationships. First, they have to deal with the haunting presence of relationships they've lost to death or distance. For all of us, the dying take a part of us to the grave with them, like conversations that can never be finished. But for the elderly, the death of spouses, of loved ones, of friends takes away even more: memories, the sense of self, the community. When the funeral of a dear friend is over, we know with a new kind of pain, another road has closed for us. When a spouse dies, the insatiable emptiness is even worse. Who's going to care for us now? Second, older people struggle with the effort it takes to make new friends, new companions in their world. Retirement villages high on amenities, but often low on mixed age populations, are springing up everywhere. True, most seniors are healthy, alert, and functional, but it requires effort and energy to make new friends. And is it even worth the time? The fact is, relationships, though, are the alchemy of life. They turn the dross of dailiness into gold. They make human community real. They provide what we need, and they wait in turn for us to give back. There's no such thing at any stage in human development as a life without relationship. In this later stage, the only uncertainty is whether we will decide to live inside ourselves, alone with our past relationships, or trust that the life made glorious by others can be made glorious again. For that to happen, we ourselves need to reach out first. We need to make ourselves interesting again. We need to learn again how to invite people into our lives, to watch the game or play cards or have dinner together. And then we need to make the effort to go places where people our own age gather, as well as to events where there's generations that mix. And the fun comes from meeting new people and talking about new things.